wasn't going to do this early, but since Clark County Commissioner Steve Sisolak put out yet another Twitter account post that puts him in the position as if he is the Oakland Raiders stadium developer in Las Vegas, I might as well go ahead. The reason why there's been a constant process of work regarding soil analysis and drilling in that area isn't that they're building anything, as some people reported, oh, they're building already. No. It's because a number of areas in the South Strip are plagued by soft soil at distances of 30 to 50 feet below the ground. This problem most famously revealed itself in 1998 when the Mandalay Bay Hotel was found to be sinking on its foundation. Why? Because a water aquifer that was not known to exist was 30 feet below and causing the soil to quite literally erode below the hotel. The hotel had to be refurbished with up to $30 million in what could be called underground supports to keep it up. Had that not been done, the foundation would continue to sink into the soil, causing at various points if you can imagine this, the steel curtains, the curtain walls, as architects call them, that form what you would think of as the windows and then the rooms, would have been quite literally pulled from the structure that they're on. Just like you would peel a banana, but slowly. Okay? That problem was true for Mandalay Bay. Another version was true for Luxor as well. Those properties, if you know where the stadium site is located, and by now I believe you do, are right across the street from the Russell Road property in Dean Martin on I-15. That property, I've talked to you about before if you've paid attention, is also a floodplain. It's a flood drainage area. And it has at the north end of the property a channel that's going through it that, you know, you all forget has to be realigned. That expenditure has to be done. But on top of that, the existence of that channel points to another water table problem below it for this reason. There's an underground tributary that flows not past the property, but under it and through it. That channel was supposed to help, take care of, to help stop the flow of water, to direct it toward the reservoir. But it doesn't speak for the other problem, which is not known, and that is to what degree has the water aquifer that was over at Mandalay Bay in '98 grown, because it was growing then, and it's still growing to the point where it may very well be contributing to the annual flood problem on the Raiders property, such that you get it's underwater by between 34 inches and 12 inches annually. So here is the bigger picture, all right? I point to problems that the public should know about. You're talking about, and it hasn't been done yet, spending $750 million of what is the public's money. Doesn't matter if it comes from hotels, the tax was created by the public, was created by the government. Forget for the moment how it was done. It is a government created finance source, period, that could easily be directed toward education or toward UNLV after May 16th of 2018. It is a government-created funding source. So with this, anyone in Nevada should be concerned about what its public money is, what their public money is going to, because it ultimately is the public's money. It's not the Raiders, it's the public's money. So note, every time I ask a question about something or raise an issue, there's someone to come forward as if they are God and say, have faith in what I'm telling you, as opposed to what a developer normally does, which is this. Here's a spreadsheet, here's a website, here's where we are. Here are the problems we've identified, here are mitigating solutions, here's the cost, here's the delays. So what? It's pushed back, big deal. Be honest about it. If the Raiders lose out, then hey, you know what? Guess what? Maybe it wasn't something the Raiders shouldn't have done to begin with. Every one of you forgets one fact. The Raiders were quite literally pulled into this as a trick by Sheldon Adelson. Why? Because Mr. Adelson has fought for some time what I call the 1,000 Years' War. A battle against the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Why? Because Mr. Adelson does not like hotel tax money going to build giant convention centers which compete against his Sands Expo, his privately financed, yes, convention center. It's a political issue with him. He wants private money to be used. So what better tool to employ to stop what he believes is the craziness of public money competing against his private organizations than to bring in the Raiders and say, we need a stadium for the Raiders, we need the stadium, and we need the Raiders in Oakland to give us something else, you know, to keep the people coming, which have been coming already, okay? Forgetting for the moment that, you know, Raiders have 10 games, then you have to figure out how you're going to add 46 other events, right? You get the picture. So, all of that was to basically grab that money and use it for another purpose. And remember, originally Sheldon Adelson was supposed to put his money into this. People forget that. This is supposed to be his deal. And Mark Davis tried to take it from him. And there's no evidence that Mr. Adelson is back at all. So, what I'm saying to all of you is you can believe what you wish. I prefer you believe in God. But when it comes to earthbound developments, it's a good idea to do your homework and ask yourself the questions you may not want to ask and get the answers you may not want to know. Where is this project really? How much is it really going to cost the public? Beyond the $750 million? Can the Raiders afford it? Because right now, they have a $940 million gap. And is it a worthwhile expenditure for an organization that has been better off in Oakland? Those are the hard questions to ask. And you should be very concerned that you're not getting the answers, let alone having anyone other than me ask the questions from your media. If you think it's okay, then you're contributing to a society that is much less healthier than the one prior to the advent of social media.